It is the beginning of May, and markets have just started to pump. Unfortunately, Mythical Potato has decided that he has time out of his busy schedule as one of the best DLMMs out there to chat to me. So I'm very excited for this conversation. Thank you for being here, Mythical Potato, and give me a little bit of information on who you are that you're willing to share.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Mythical Potato. Um, what can I say? Like the one I shared before when we do Advanced Bootcamp number 2. I'm an avid gamer by heart. I've been with crypto for 3 years or 4 years, but I started 2017, but on and off because of my 9 to 5 job. Then I decided to go full time last 2022, and I found out about Meteora, and yeah, my life has never be the same again.
Yeah. If anyone isn't aware of Mythical Potato, um, you're one of the like moderators and like alpha callers in the LP army. I'm pretty sure I've seen your wallet, but I won't share it. But you make very decent amounts of soul. I don't know what I can say and what I can't say, but you outperform me and my team. We're not doing it as much as we'd like to, but you outperform us by like a factor of like 15. So you're freaking good. You're very, very good. But there's just so many things that I would like to learn from you, and I think the people would like to learn from you, in terms of different strategies, maybe some losses you've had, best your best lesson, your best piece of advice. Of course, nothing being financial advice. Maybe where you see the market going, and just your feel for the vibe. Is it all kind of DJ and meme plays, or do you jump into something a little bit more stable on the weekends? That kind of vibe.
Mhm.
What could you start us off with? What's worth teaching us?
Yeah, maybe I could start by sharing. I was not always profitable or good at what I'm doing. Uh, I started with little capital and, of course, with little knowledge. But I have a little knowledge on LPing using Orca back in 2022-21. Then I learned about the tech of Meteora, which is like Orca but on steroids. So yeah, before I earned big, I experienced 3 to 4 times wallet wipeout. It goes to zero, and
Wow.
yeah, and I took a break for a couple of months and start building capital again and go back. Then in August 2023, 2024, started to do full time on Meteora. Absorb every knowledge I can get. There was a community here in our country, and they are teaching free stuffs on YouTube, and I absorb as much as I can, learn from them. The important thing I learned from them is mindset and how to control your fear, your greed, that kind of stuff. That helps me a lot and position myself to become profitable on what I do in Meteora.
So what is your best lessons from like how did you learn the correct mindset? Do you have like a certain number of amount of capital you go in, or you've got like a written out strategy of when you want to take profits, or
Mhm.
how do you think?
Uh, at the core of that, I need to develop my strongest why I do things so that I have something to look back for to work as a guide so that day in and day out I will work on that goal or to answer that why. So based on that, uh, you always have a plan. That's the key. So you formulate. all possible scenario that you can think so that you're not going in blind to cover every possible instances before you even, for example, open a position in liquidity providing. Yeah.
Okay, nice. I might pull up my screen so we can kind of talk through maybe what are you kind of jumping into. You're welcome to share your screen if you want, if you have
Mhm.
another wallet which is not your main wallet. Just need to unlock mine here. But so your biggest losses have of course been going to zero, wallet
Yeah.
wipeout.
4 times, 4 times.
All times. Excuse me. Has that happened since you started on Meteora, or was that all before Meteora?
um, 3 times before Meteora and then 1 time in the middle of from then to now.
I see. And you literally went down to like a couple of soul or something, or even less.
It's literally zero. It goes to zero.
Literally zero.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Um, gotcha. So let me share my screen here. So, are you willing to share what your biggest win has been?
Yeah. I think my biggest win in a single position would be Libra. I know everyone remembers that token. So let me check.
So you won off Libra when 99.6% of people lost.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad that
Oh no, there's no reason to feel bad. I mean, the people that Max extracted were not like liquidity providing is an art, a skill, and it's a necessary value add to the community. Yeah, you don't have to feel bad. Well done. So, all right, so Libra, so the max extract has kind of happened. Oh, can I share that? Can I share that on that you're sharing with me on the screen?
yeah, sure. Just want to show everyone this.
Got to remove myself and add this.
That's a single position, and I do it in consecutively in another wallet, almost identical to that, around 20-ish K.
Wow. So you're operating with two wallets normally?
Now, only in the specific token because of the volume and volatility that time.
Gotcha. All right, so you made 25K on that, 40K, 20K on another wallet. Um, did you mind talking about how much money you put into the pool? And like what, like when you saw this chart, maybe I can even find this chart still. It'd be good to know what you're thinking in terms of, all right, how do I play this? I don't know if I can actually find Libra still, or if it's like just kind of blacklisted completely. Um,
Yeah, before Libra, we have Trump, so I kind of have a rough idea on how to play it. It's like we have a practice run on Trump token.
right. Did you do well off Trump?
No, it didn't even come close to this. It's around 5K or 2K, something like that
Okay.
on some token.
All right. I found the chart for Libra. Have a look on the on the daily candle, of course. I mean, it's a silly chart because you can't really use any part of it. You know what? By the time we zoom in on eventually get to where we want to go, and then zoom in on the 1 minute, it's not going to work because it's just such a failed chart. So
Mhm.
I'll do that off camera. So back to this then. So just out of memory, how early were you to get into it? And did you just buy some and then put it into like a an ask system, or did you bid ask it, or did you spot it, or what was your strategy?
I use curve on this one. Very, very tight range curve since it's moving up and down quickly and it goes through that specific tight range. So I managed to accumulate that much of fees.
Okay. And I mean, since then though, yeah, it's too hard for me to kind of show how this chart looks because this was like the worst chart in crypto, right? It was just atrocious. But after that, then max extract season was exposed,
Mhm.
and then things got really, really quiet. But you've still been very profitable over the last few months, despite how quiet it's been in terms of the volume. Like it's very difficult these days to get $100 million
Mhm.
runner. When Routine came out, like it went to like 10 or 20 million or something. It was the most watched video on Twitter, and it didn't even run very hard. So did you get into Routine?
Yeah, I know I have that position.
Okay.
Decent fees in that.
All right. Well, I guess so. Now we're in a bit of a new period. Like crypto's starting to moon again. There's going to be, in my opinion, a lot more retail coming in. Some people think meme coins are dying. I think meme
Mhm.
coins will be fine. I think they're really there's too many, 33,000 tokens, 350 of them graduate a day. But how are you playing things? Are you looking for things that happen? Um, are you looking for things that have already graduated, or what's your kind of playbook?
Mhm. Yeah, after Libra, there was a lot of PTSD happening, but to adjust or to adapt to the overall market condition, I'm looking for a token that basically how you screen the tokens after it migrated, the chart structure is there, the volume is there, so that basic stuffs.
Did you want to show
Uh,
us live something? Like, would that be okay?
yeah, sure. Hold on. Let me pull a chart, the recent position.
And then I can share your screen.
Mm,
Because I've been researching significantly a lot more. Been doing some live streams on the trenches because I think it's a very good thing. I mean, you'll understand the trenches better than I will. And I've got 3 people working on it. Let me know if I can share your screen now.
yeah, sure.
So I guess the thing is, there's so much to know when it comes to working out if a token's going to do well or not. And I think you need to learn the trenches a little bit, and I think some basic tools before you actually can be really good at Meteora is my idea. Bull.
Yeah, this just recently ran. So here, just like how you screen this, you check the structure, chart structure. Is it going up or is it creating a trend going up? You can see, you cannot see the volume here, but I monitor this part, the 1 minute, 5 minute volume. So around 100K to 100K in 1 minute, that could be an indicator for me to open a position. For this,
Sorry, so you want
we
$100,000 a minute to open a position?
uh, ideally, yeah.
Okay,
But if it's so day is dry, we can go 50 to 80, something like that.
okay.
So basic due diligence, checking if there's so much snipers and how much their holdings, the top holders. This seems to have a red flags on this, but I don't know how it happened. It runs, and we printed a lot on this one. We are also exploring the DAMM V2
Yeah, I haven't
since
played with
last
that
night.
yet. So I'd love your thoughts on that as well. I haven't played with it yet. But so you entered this position.
Yes.
At what
Uh,
stage did you decide to enter? And then how did you decide to enter? Um, like what did you is your favorite strategy the curve, or are you bid asking or just spotting it in a what kind of pool range did you decide based on what you saw here?
I, hold on, let me connect my wallet. I started DLMM on this at this level because we are using DAMM since from here to here because fees are good at DAMM. The base fee at the start of that pool is around 50%. Then it has a curve to go down to 6% as the time passes by. So that's the perfect time to switch to DLMM. And I started in this area.
All right. Yeah, keen to get
Um,
some more damn V2 or whatever its name is after because I haven't actually explored it.
yeah. Yeah. My position here was when it breaks out from here, I put a one side sol position using spot strategy. Then just let it run the range. I usually use tight range, like something like that.
And so what do you tend to go, is there a particular pool you like 250 bin or like at this point, what market cap level is that and what fee, what actual bin size did you go in and what fee percentage did you go for?
This was around 1.8 mm cap. I did create a 100 bin pool 2% base fee on this one because the existing, I think, 400 bin, which is so wide, and the fees will not go through on
Yeah.
that pool. Yeah, there's 400 from earlier. So I used this, and yeah, so
You
far I
create
earned 400.
you created the pool.
Yeah, the 102%.
So it cost some soul to create the pool and someone's got to open it and well done. Thanks Mythical Potato for opening the pool.
Yeah.
So you tend so at around 1 million, if you think it's got some upside, you will tend to
Mm,
go um and open those pools at that 100 bin 2%. You like kind of 2% as that fee gathering range.
mm.
Is that accurate?
Yeah.
So you put in a one-sided soul. So you bought it as it came on down. You went only on ranges. Do you use Fibonacci tools or anything like that?
Actually, I don't use any indicators, only the volume and the how the price action moves up and down.
Okay. So you're just setting your like a trend line, support, resistance, and you're just
Yeah.
watching. There's volume, I'm in, volume comes out, you go out, I'm assuming.
Mm. Yeah. I'm creating a scenario before I open a position. For example, it should break out here to be considered bullish, so I can open another position when it breaks out. Yeah, something like that. Then what happen if it does not go there? So I plotted the support. It should not go down below there, otherwise it's dead, and I move on to the next token.
Gotcha. So you're watching this like a hawk. Will you have more than one position open at the same time?
No, I only open one position at a time so that my focus is on that since I'm more on volume and the price action. So I need 100% focus on single token at a time.
Okay. So with that previous open, so you opened it, the price went down, so it just bid, fees, and then you
Mhm.
left it in there to sell as the price went up without changing the range, or did you like take it out at the bottom or take some of it out of the bottom to give yourself more upside in the token?
I usually do. I let it go out of range on the upside, then sell the fees.
Okay,
Most of the time, I'm using spot, and I seldomly use bid ask curve on special occasion. If we see Trump or Libra volume, maybe I can use curve again or similar to that volume per 1 minute.
gotcha. So that so you sell
That's
there, and then
that.
did you re-enter again, or was it just one?
Uh,
Did you enter for the one time sell, and that's it?
for this token, I sell the fees here, then observe. Normally, it always dips, so I observe first for around 5 to 10 minutes. Then, if it creates a new high, then I will re-enter. Here, it attempted to break out this previous high, so I open a position here, chasing it while it pumps. Then, when it goes out of range, sell the fees, then observe again, then repeat. As
So
long
with
as
that,
there's strength in the token. Yeah.
with that second sell signal, at that point it's coming up. So if you wouldn't do sol one sided because it's not really like it's like you get a little you get it dips for a second, you get a small fee, and then it's out. Or you tend to go sol one sided, or did you go and buy the token and have it bull one sided?
I don't usually buy token to DLMM.
Okay,
I only use one-sided sol, but with DAMM, you need to buy a token so to open a position. So I'm kind of exploring that option to do as well on DLMM.
okay. So currently your strategy with is this, could we say this is basically all like your strategy with DLMing at present? You just sole single-sided, normally spot, not even bid ask, you just spot. You see where the support is, resistance support, and you buy down, it comes up, you sell. You
Yeah,
are not interested in buying a token and having 50-50. Is that inaccurate?
yeah. Because in my mind, what if this goes out? So I take two risk on that, double risk. The uh, the purchase token lost its value, then my position of Sol side that goes down also as well.
Gotcha. And now, like, what are we doing? We're doing 5 minutes, 133,000, 1 minute, 25,000. So this is like, you wouldn't even touch this. There's not enough, you wouldn't get out of bed for this. There's not enough volume, right?
Yeah. Basically, I'm thinking on this. It If it breaks out from here, it should have a supporting volume, and it will display here and a volatility. That's where I open my position for spot Sol one-sided
Okay,
around this area if it goes here.
gotcha. Um, Perfect. So so you get into one position, you went into this position 3 times, is that right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So over the how long, if you can have a look on your chart, from the time you got out, you entered, you got out, how long were you actually watching this chart for?
Since it launched basically, so for 2.5 hours.
Okay, 2.5 hours, and you only entered the one pool. So 2.5 hours, you made 400 and something dollars.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's basically pure profit
Mhm.
because you didn't like the token you bought down and then up. So you literally made uh, $170 or so an hour.
which in my country that would be worth at least half a month expense. So
Yeah.
Meteora really changed my life. That's why I do what I did on the community to give back free lesson or free help as much as I can.
No, it's wonderful. So how many hours a day do you say you jump in? And this is very interesting because your approach actually doesn't really rely on knowing the trenches. So maybe I do understand the trenches better than you, but maybe I'm also mid curving it, and you're like just right curving it, just like volume, resistance support. That's all you need, baby, and you just dive in.
Yeah, from the beginning of my journey in LP, I use indicators like moving average, RSI, uh, but most of the time for me it doesn't work on a meme coin when it suddenly shoot up and or suddenly dump. I experienced many rug pulls in my LP career,
Right.
and does not feel good. So I um, watch the token very closely so that I can have a feel on how it moves. Like I know its DNA. For example, it will go down and it will go up again because that's how it moved from based on its previous movements. That's why I focus only on one token at a time.
Yeah. So I have some more questions on the DAM V2, but we might come back to that after.
Mm.
Right now, so you're out of this token. I believe you had a strategy, and maybe it's still the same. After you're out of a token, you just kind of, I don't know, touch grass, ground your feet, grab a glass of water, look outside, say hi to
Mm.
your mum, whatever it is. You take like a bit of a rest before you look for the next one. Is that still the case?
Yeah, that for me that is very important to take a rest between positions because you need to reset your mindset to neutral because when you win or you lose in a position, then you go to the next immediately. You have that mindset that if you win, you will always win, and if you lose, you do revenge trading, something like that. So it's very important to take a break uh, every other position.
Every other position, so every two positions.
I mean every position after
Every,
you close up the position.
okay. We need like the mythical potato playbook, just like like Yoda, just be mythical potato. So how when you take a break, is it like a 15-minute break or how long?
It really depends on how I feel. If I feel I'm ready to take the next trade objectively and not based on previous winnings or previous loss, then I will take a look on a new position.
Gotcha. All right. So do you use dupe to find your position?
Yeah, this is my favorite, just like you. um, I go here and top traded under 5 minutes time frame. Then I look for tokens with volume since the old tokens here normally in the top. The next thing is the age, token age, the market cap, the volume, and the price change. I think we can also filter. Yeah.
Do you use any filters? So obviously you're not going to go into Popcat or JLP or Fartcoin because, well,
Mm.
yeah, they've got volume, but they also have a huge amount of liquidity, so you're not going to print anything. So, do you want to be under $10 million market cap, or do you like to be under 5 million, or what's your kind of level that you like?
It depends on the current capital that I want to use during a certain period of time. For example, if I have 100 Sol, I would go up to 50 to 100 M cap token because 5% of that would be okay for me as a profit. So it depends on the capital you have. If you have small or around 10 or lower, you can stick to the 5 or below M cap because the potential upside on that is bigger than the large MCAP tokens.
Gotcha. So if you're adding, like, if you have, so do you want to have a look at house, the token house here?
Here.
Um, it's not. Oh, I wonder what it's got, what it's doing in GMGN in terms of volume. I'd be interested to see, like, would you jump into this token? It's doing well. You know, it's only doing 1 minute. It's decreased significantly. It looks as though their volume metrics are very different to dupes for some reason. So that's doing in 1 minute, it's doing $8,000. So that's just, it's not worth it.
Mhm.
And it's not loading for you either. Rugged.
GMGN Shrug.
So if you're entering into, say, what about maybe it's not doing a lot now, but Titcoin. Have you ever DLM in this one? This one's been, like, at times it's just run up just remarkably well. So this is kind of, maybe this is something where you would enter it with a larger sum because it's got a nice range on it, and um like,
Yeah.
you kind of think your capital is kind of protected because overall it's, it's been trending up for a few weeks now.
Mhm.
Would
Yeah,
this
I
be
remember
something
this. I remember opening a position here when it was relatively new. As you can see, the sell volume I had
Yeah,
earlier part. Um, if I will open a position at the current level, I would go back to the point that the potential upside, the other coins or possible runner would appear. So I would use my capital there because if you're dealing with large MCAP, as far as I know, you would need a lot of time spent here, even multi days, just to get 5 to 10% in
yeah,
fees. That's not very capital intensive on my part, or I feel I don't efficiently use my capital on that because I can maybe get a 15% on something else with lower market cap with shorter time frame.
gotcha. Yeah, I mean, this is yeah, I mean, I was in it for weeks, and it was just very nicely, you can see the range comes in, comes out, and it was just like a bid ask. Um, for one was a spot, and then one was bid ask, and just kind of came down, went up, came down, went up. It printed like $700, but I mean, this is what you print in a day. Um, sorry, in a session. Yeah, yeah. So okay,
Sometimes.
sometimes, yeah. So then, so right now, if you're looking at, dupe or whatever, there, are you seeing any entries? If there's no entries, is this where you just go outside?
Yeah, I don't force any play. For example, there's no decent uh, or the parameters did not met my expectation. I just pass. I go watch anime or something,
Go
touch
game?
grass, play a game.
Cool. Um, Fine. Well, I personally noticed that around kind of 5 p.m. UTC, which is probably getting to when you're going to sleep. I'm imagining you sleep at nighttime. Things start to heat up with the Americans coming on board. But do you notice a period when things are more lively, or because you're in Asia,
Yeah,
the Asians can also affect the market when I'm sleeping. So maybe I'm missing out on that. When do you print the most? Is there a time of day typically?
my favorite time of day is the UK US time zone
Yeah,
because the potential runners appears on that time and most whales I think are on UK US. I mean, we have whales in Asia, but during that time, the token runners appear most of the time, based on my observation.
Gotcha. So now we're not really seeing anything with a smaller market cap. Don't the thing that's doing the best right now? I'm looking at um, GMGN, and you're looking at Jupe. But the best thing is still Bull, and it's $100,000 in 5 minutes. When you like it, $50,000 to $100,000 in 1 minute.
Mm.
So we're in the we're in the perfect time to do a podcast, because this is when you'll be relaxing. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. And then if what's your kind of strategy when it comes to just calling a loss? So it breaks, excuse me, it breaks a trend, and you give it 10% and it's over, or what do you think?
When it goes out of my range, the chart sucks in this one. Let's use this for example. How do I cut my losses? Or for example, this one, it goes below here. I usually use 1 minute time frame, so I can, I don't know, I was just so used to it using this time frame. Or can we use an example here? For example here, um, if the price action goes below my range, my cut loss would be around minus 20% from the bottom of my range. So, most of the time, I don't wait for it to go down when I see weakness in the chart. For example, the volume is slowing down. The holders are going down as well. That's a sign of a massive sell-off. Then I won't wait for it to go down below out of my range. I close my position, the middle, then move on to the next.
Okay, cool. Now, also, when you're looking for tokens, so you're just purely just going for volume. Are you seeing like a narrative that tends to pump things up, like a particular token, or are you trying to look if the meme's good, or do you go to GMGN and check? Um, you know how you can, like you showed it before, where you see those red counts, those red
Mm.
lines, which means like someone's basically taken some soul and gone and funded sometimes 100 accounts, and that those red lines there.
Yeah.
Are you
Yes.
looking for that before you enter, or not
Yeah.
really?
That's part of my basic due diligence. I look for volume and Juke Pro, then move to GMGN as investigation tool. Just like what I saw in your video, you check the holders tab. I check here if the dev's still in, the insiders, are they still in? They're still holding, as well as the snipers. And what I consider bad is a lot of uh, rat icon. This one. That means so many insider that can dump anytime when you enter a position. Also, this is an interesting tab, the KOL tab. You can see who are participating in this token, because that gives you an idea that who will be pushing this token to their followers, uh, who has the most reach to bring in new traders to push further the price. So that's an additional factor for me who are participating in this token.
Are you labeled yet as a KOL?
Yeah.
Have they found your wallet?
I
No.
think you will appear here as KOL if you link your wallet and X.
Okay. Well, we won't do that. Um, cool. So, would you be keen to talk us through uh DAMM V2? Is that what it's called now, or have I
Yeah.
got the name slightly wrong?
And Dynamic Pulse B2. Well, to call it DAM.
Damn. Okay.
I think I forgot the position here that is supposed to be closing before we go live. Anyway,
Okay. So, damn. Dam, for anyone that doesn't know, well, the first dynamic pool was just you put in like 50% Sol, 50% Bonk.
So,
It goes in, it takes all the fees, it compounds them, and then there's like impermanent loss, and there's no range. It's just like the price goes wherever it wants, basically. Yeah.
mhm.
But Dam V2, it doesn't compound the fees. Is that right?
Yeah, you have the option to claim the fees manually. Uh, what I find interesting as well is the base fee banding curve. Start with 50%, as high as 50% at the start, then it goes down to whatever you chooses from here. This is
What
the
do you mean?
base fee.
What do you mean by like 50? Sorry, what do you mean by like 50%? Because like you like how do you get a trade through that's 50, like where there's a 50% fee? What am I missing here?
Based on my understanding on this dam, it was created to help launchpads or token creators to fight snipers. That's why the base fee they charge at the first few minutes was so high so that they can charge those snipers or bad actors very high or like punishing them for sniping the tokens. Then it normalizes it time goes by. So we use this as a normal LPRs, leverage the high base fee for a new token. Uh, Earlier, we earn times two in a times two of our initial just a few minutes in on the pool.
Cool. So one
So
second. I'm good. So you put some money in there and you got it so if let's say you put in $100 with Bull, you got out $100 plus $200 in fees. Is that what you're saying?
mm,
You times your initial.
your initial would be posted separately from the fees you earn.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing here is you can select how you collect fees. For example, you want the token and the pair to be collected as fees, or just USDC, for example, or just Sol.
Well, that's cool. So basically, every time you get a fee in Trump or whatever, it will just swap it back to Sol for you.
Yeah, it automatically up. Just like this, I earn 0.23 Sol for this token.
Gotcha. So you're typically so you're entering that first when you notice there's a bit of um, excitement in the chart, and then when it no longer is uh like when there's too much liquidity or like $1 million market cap, then you withdraw it and you move to the DLMM. Is that right?
Hmm. That's the idea when it exhausted the curve and you feel that fees are not coming in. You can move to DLMM if you see the trend is still going up, but most of the time these new tokens just drag
Yeah.
just like that.
No, that's interesting. I mean, I have a poor success rate with getting a token kind of under 100K. Do you tend to play with some tokens every now and then under in Rug Central under 100K?
No, I much as possible I avoid below 100K or before it even migrated.
Why did you like Haru?
Um,
You bought it.
Haru.
You bought it at the
Yeah,
top.
this was part of the experiment, or since the DAMM is relatively new, we are experimenting on it on at what level we can be profitable on this that you can share it to the rest of the army. So we sacrifice some capital on it just to learn how does it work.
Nice. I love it. Uh, Fantastic. I think I could, continue asking a million more questions, but I would love to know, like, from being on this full time, and typically maybe a couple of questions like how many runners would you tend to get into each day normally, and where do you have an opinion on if you think meme coins are going to come back stronger, um and also, do you ever leave like a moon bag? Do you ever like get like core conviction that something's going to do really well?
Mhm. Yeah, based on the recent activities, the rise of the launch pads, the PvP of launch pads, I think meme coins will stay. Meme coins will be here, and as long as tokens are being traded, we can profit from it via liquidity providing. So in long term, I think meme coin will be here, will be part of the ecosystem. For moon bags, I don't do moon bags except Jupe and Sol.
Nice. um and my assumption is you're a Meteora, you're on Solana, and you don't care about any other dApp or chain. Is that assumption correct?
Yeah, because when you get into Solana, you won't have time to check other. At least for me,
Yeah.
I'm my how you call this. I'm so busy exploring Solana, or just the Meteora alone gets my attention to fully focus or give it my time and don't have to check other chains or something.
Yeah. No, I understand. I check out some others because I'm trying to make content that grows crypto, but yeah, like
Mhm.
Solana, it's hard enough just to cover Solana. And when you're as successful as you are, that yeah, it's harder. Do you have like who's your favorite person in the LP army? Like, or maybe your favorite person for like their systems or theories, or just your favorite person in general?
I think Mario. Mario helped me a lot uh, since I I was accepted to enter Goose DAO and Chip,
Chief?
yeah,
Yeah, Chief. He
that
yeah,
that
that
Chad, that
uh,
Giga Chad Chip.
yeah. They are good. I they're really good. I'm noticing
Mhm.
Tux is doing very well, very, very profitable. So I'd be keen to see some of his strategies in the future. But I like your strategies; they're very, very workable. Um, so the now that you're using DAM, what's
Mhm.
like this relates to launch pads specifically, right? Or is it relate like as any launch pad using DAM currently? Or is like Meteor or Jupiter's new launchpad going to use DAM?
Yeah, I think that Meteora team can answer that. Who are the partners using this? But as a retail, we can also use this to our advantage and explore other options aside DLMM. So far, it is profitable. I can see it can be profitable.
Perfect. Cool. Well, look, I mean, this has been great.
Mhm.
There's probably more questions I could come up with, but I think we've got like a pretty good strategy, something to go, the viewers got something to go and try. Um, I certainly hope that we get more volume coming through, and just better meme coins in general. And it would be great. And I think
Yeah.
we are going to see that. I'm hoping we get a lot less just random crappers. Just, like I really don't want to see this 33,000 a day tokens. And I'm hoping the fact that like creator sharing coming on with different platforms, uh, I hope they are generous so that it's very, very rewarding to, anonymously go and create a token, or not so anonymously, and then try and make it good for the LPs, but also good for everyone else. Um, I guess one more piece of advice, because typically in the the meme coin world, there's all these old success stories of, the Pepes, the memes, the Shiba Inus, even Bonk and Whiff of diamond handing, and you can't diamond hand any of these new tokens. So typically, how long would you say you're in a token for before you get in, you print, and you get out, on average?
Around until the trend is there. After that, that's maybe up to max 2 hours, something.
2 hours.
Mm.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Well, anything else you want to add? Any questions you had for me as a not as good as DLMing person as you are, but in general, um, by all means ask. Otherwise, I think this is great content, very, very helpful. And I appreciate that you are hustling and also giving back to the community. I'll quickly just share
Yeah.
this as well for those that want to find you. Of course, the best place to find you will be in the LP Army. Like, everyone can join the LP Army Discord. Not everyone can have all the cool roles. You got to earn them. But here, I think you're under strategies. Click on the strategies. You've got the in and out strategy by Mythical
Mm.
Potato. I thought, sorry, I thought they were clickable, but maybe they're just coming. But either way, that's your strategy. And this is the man, the myth, the legend himself. Yeah,
Mm.
cool. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, will you be participating on Doodles? It will be lunch later today, I think, around 3 hours.
Yes. I was thinking about doing doodles, like going live. I think I have to drive my wife to the dentist, so I don't know if I'm going to get a bit of a clash.
Mm.
Um, but maybe I'll take my laptop, sit in the car if I can time it. How were you going to play that? Same system,
Uh,
in and out. If there's a trend,
as for new lunch tokens, like this big one, I tend to observe the first 5 minutes, then do the in and out, or maybe we can curve this if volume and volatility is there.
cool. I think that's extremely important. Like I've mentioned many times, but you got 5 minutes. Like you want to wait for the candles to do this crazy stuff because there's a lack of liquidity. There's snipers. There's bots. People can't claim their airdrops. Pingu went up to like this market cap that was more than all of the GDP of all countries in the entire world briefly, like $95 or $100 or $200 per token, and then it came on down to that. I don't know what it was, 3 cents, 6 cents. I can't remember. So that's good advice. I wish you success in your Doodles experience. And you may get an airdrop in various forms as well if you've got any of the, if you pre-order the Solana Seeker or whatnot, and then you can
Yeah,
always sell that as well. Cool.
yeah, cool.
Thanks again. Give them a follow and
Yeah,
make sure
thank
you're
you.
in the
I'm
Discord.
happy to be here, and thank you so much for inviting me.
My pleasure. Thanks again. Cheers.
Cheers.